Now let's get to some questions. Gaming Creed, a veteran of the channel who has been watching since my streaming days, had a great question for my first Q&A episode. It's a real classic. If I were to be transported into any story that originates from a book or novel, what would it be and why? I've always loved this kind of question. It's one of those great hanging out with friends questions like, what superpower would you have? Or what would you do with $1 million? The fun kicker here is sticking to a book or a novel. My gut reaction to the question is to say something like Star Trek or Star Wars, but while those have books, it's not really in the spirit of the question. Similarly, I can't say my own books because, let's be real, that's just a cop-out. And a little cheaty. Though, if I were to be transported to one of my own books, I'd want to be in Avalon Academy. A lot of the other worlds I've been working on are super dangerous. At least in Avalon Academy, I'd get to just, kind of vibe and learn magic. Personally, I think taking a walk in the world of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy would be a ton of fun. Though you could argue that it could be our own world, and we just don't know it yet. I always loved reading the series. I read the entire series in middle school one year. Yeah, in the span of 1 year. And I just absolutely loved it. Could I survive listening to Vogon poetry? How is the food at the restaurant at the end of the universe really? It would just be a really fun adventure. Etch on Substack asked a flurry of questions. And I thought I'd take this as a fun challenge lightning round. So here we go. Let's do them rapid fire. Number 1, do I have any theme music for the podcast? Yes and no. I've got a couple theme songs I've collected over the years. I just don't really use them. That might change in the future though. Number 2, when I'm writing a story, do I have someone that I share secrets about the story with because I just have to tell someone? I talk to my wife a decent amount, but only after she's read something that I've written down. I like to get her raw reactions to something I've written, and I don't give her too much information because I don't want her to be totally spoiled, but I want her to kind of know what I'm going for in a passage. So yeah, I only tell her so much. I also talk quite a lot with my artist Inessa and tell her kind of everything she needs to know to understand what she needs to do in a piece. I'll tell her some critical background stuff or just blatant spoilers for a certain character so that she can understand kind of the nuance that needs to go into the piece. She can really get it. And I mean, just look at the art and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. There's a lot of details in there that if you knew what I knew and if you knew what Inessa knew, you'd be like, oh, interesting. So yeah, that's also kind of a secret tip to people that are working with artists for pieces for your books. Talk to your artist about everything in your book so that they can really get what's going on. Number 3, do I have an editor? Not right now. I probably should, but I just don't have the money right now for it. Number 4, what do I think of the statement, the best authors are extremely well read? I think this can be true, but the thing about absolutes like this statement is the exceptions often shine much brighter than the rule. Reading is extremely valuable, but you can read without thinking or dreaming. And I think writing is an exercise in deep thinking and realizing your dreams. Number 5, what is my favorite dessert? Pretty much anything my wife makes is just the best. I love cheesecake, chocolate, nearly anything, and vanilla, almost anything. I'm not a big fan of, say, ice cream because the cold just hurts my teeth. Also, we make some killer date bars. Uh, just awesome stuff. We made one a few weeks ago that tastes exactly like Reese's Cups. It is fantastic. Number 6, when did I start writing and why do I write? I've really been writing things here and there since about 6th grade, like actually writing things down. I always kind of had like stories in my head, but I didn't actually put them to paper. I started getting these super vivid dreams, and I'd write and draw them in one of my notebooks. Unfortunately, a lot of these early stories are gone because I either lost a notebook or it got damaged or whatever. But I started writing in earnest in high school. The oldest continuously working project I have right now is Shattered Wings, my high fantasy industrial era epic series. I've been working on that since college. I write because I've got a bunch of stories in my head and, no one else is going to write them for me. So it might as well be me. I feel like it's my duty to the interesting ideas that I've got clattering around up there. So I make it your problem. I'm writing it so it becomes your problem. Number 7, how long does it take me to edit on average? I think it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours. It really depends on how long the episode is. I actually don't have a ton of takes or redos for my readings, so I don't have to sift through a bunch of noise to cut out. Most of the time, I'll get a passage nailed on the first take, but not always. That cuts down a lot on how much time I have to dedicate to buttoning things up. The thing that often takes the longest is finding ambient music or noise to fit the narration. I don't try to do anything too crazy. I just kind of want something in the background that fills empty space and still like adds something to the presentation. So that can take a while to find something that kind of hits that perfect note. Number 8, do I like poetry and do I have a favorite poet? I'm not crazy about poetry. I'm much more engaged by prose personally. You won't see me making a ton of poetry, though there is one series where you will, since it helps build a specific theme. Basically, if you see me writing poetry, there's something going on that's worth paying attention to. So, just a little hint there. You'll see what I mean very soon. In terms of favorite poet, I like a lot of the Romantics. Keats always caught my attention, but I'll always have a soft spot for Shakespeare and Chaucer. They just, I don't know, they kind of hit that specific note. Chaucer in particular really took me by surprise when we started reading the Canterbury Tales in high school. I really like his work. Call me old school, I guess. My tastes in poetry are old. All right, that is it for the question and answer session. If you would like your question answered for next month's Q&A, you can drop it in the comments for this video. I promise I will answer it as long as it's something that's, not insane. Like, what size is my butt? Because that's weird. Why would you ask that? Don't ask that. I mean, you can ask that, I just won't answer it. Who would answer what size their butt is? It's big. Anyway, drop those questions down below. Also, I'd love to hear what you think about the new schedule, the new show, a new name. Just let me know what you think. I'm so excited to bring this next year of awesome stories to you guys. But I have a favor to ask of you. Please get the word out. Share the show with your friends. Share the show with your ex-wife. I don't care who you share it with. Just get the word out. Let them know. Every little bit helps in making this show a success, and it literally costs you nothing. You could help your friend find their new favorite podcast. Remember, this show is available on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Music, so that you can watch and listen the way that you want to. In fact, if the show isn't somewhere that you would like to listen to it, let me know. I'll get it there. Thank you so much to Fulfill Your Destiny for being the most legendary supporter of this show and my writing in the history of forever. You're just going to have an eternal spot in the Hall of Fame at this point. We're going to crown you Eternal Grandmaster or something. We'll figure it out. If you would like to directly support this show and help me get things like art, new equipment, all kinds of stuff, follow the link below to my Substack and sign up as a paid subscriber. You'll get a credit in my special thanks and maybe some other perks down the road. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to see what I've been working on, and I'll see you in 2025.